figured it out. All right, yeah, I'm a dweeb. I'm a total dweeb. I'm totally a dweeb. Okay, it should be live now. Let me check on my phone to make sure it actually is live. Watch now. Okay. Am I live? Come on. Come on. We can do this. Why does it still say that? It says I'm live. It says I've been live for 38 seconds, and the stupid thing is, oh, okay, hi, Kathy. Yeah, yay! All right, I'm a total dweeb. I'm totally a dweeb. Thank you so much, Kathy. Oh, wait, I got to turn the sound volume down on this phone so I'm not echoing. Hi, how are you doing today? I'm obviously so bad at these lives. I will get better, I promise. This is the baby. I think this is why YouTube makes people stay baby channels for a while because, it's just, wow. Hi from Pennsylvania. Well, hello from Florida. I think this is why YouTube makes people stay baby channels for a while because, this whole live thing. It's the one thing. Oh, come on, Brucey, you have to move. Everybody say hello to Brucey. Okay, say goodbye to Brucey. You have to go somewhere else. You can't be there. Okay. All right. Here we go. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Kelly's Crafts. Hi, Kathy. Poof. Puff. Hi from Alabama. So what I have, and I only have, the way I figure this works is I only have 30 minutes right now because I'm a baby channel and they don't let me go live for longer than 30 minutes. So I really want to get this done. If you've been watching my channel, you know that when I was in the Colonial store, the one on Colonial Hiawassee, I picked up a set of these like I needed any more markers. I am definitely a marker hoarder, but I picked up a set of these because they say Everblend Ultra H2O. And to me, that says that they are watercolor markers that can be blended together. And what I've done is I've made some test samples, and this is just, I know somebody actually makes this as a stamp. It's called Wonky Bird or something like that. And I didn't buy it from whoever actually makes it. I bought it from Temu for like $1. Significantly cheaper buying it from Temu. I don't know. I understand there are people who have a thing about Temu, and that's totally fine. You do you. You do what you're comfortable with. I'm never going to be upset with anybody who is their own authentic self. But what I've done is I've done these in pigment ink and I've done them in distressed oxides. And the reason that I did that in both of them is because I want to test it where I trust the ink not to blend. And I want to try it where if this really is an actual watercolor pen, what does it do when it comes in contact with distressed oxides? So that's what I have here, and I have different papers. This one is 67-pound cardstock. This is a textured cardstock that I got from a pack that my husband found for me at a thrift store long before Ollie's started doing what Ollie's was doing. This one is 110-pound cardstock, and it's actually one that came from Park Lane. I just cut it up and using the back of them. And this is multimedia paper. So I've got those 4 types of paper, and I've got them set up for alcohol ink in pigment and distressed oxide, and I've got them set up for watercolor ink and watercolor ink in pigment and distressed oxide. So it's 4 different types of paper, 2 different types of stamps, or 2 different types of stamping ink. And I'm going to try it with these. And then I went through my alcohol markers and I found alcohol markers that are similar in color to the colors that came with the colors that came in this, because this is earth tones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this with these alcohol markers and these colors of markers that come with the Everblend Ultra H2O Earth Tones Arteza. I have been very impressed with everything that I see from Arteza, but I haven't ever actually tried anything from Arteza. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. And these are 12 of my alcohol inks. And just to give you an idea of how horrible my problem is with markers, and it's definitely an autistic hoarder kind of problem with markers. Hi, Pamela. Hello from South Florida. This is 12 of my 262 alcohol markers. so you get an idea of my thing with markers. I love markers. Markers are so cool. It's like my thing. So I'm going to open this and I'm going to see what these look like. And I'm just going to take a scrap sheet of paper and I'm just going to do a quick test on them on a scrap sheet of multimedia paper. And that's what this is right here, because my multimedia paper is actually 9 by 12. So when I make it 8.5 by 11, I get smaller pieces of it. And I'm just going to test some of these colors really quickly on this paper here. But first off, I have to get this open. And in order to do that, I got to get it with my scissors, which aren't my Cutter Bee scissors because they're still in the family room. Oh, well, I can't have everything all set up. I don't know if Amira made it back over here. I know Amira's out there. So Amira, if you're here, please say hi so I know you're here. She's like my original fan, and I absolutely adore Amira. So I'm hoping that she's here. But these are the Arteza markers. There we go. And this is what they look like. And that's them right there. So it's going to be really easy to tell the difference between the Arteza markers and the alcohol markers. The alcohol markers also came off of Temu. I think I spent $30 for the 262, but that was a sale price that I got them for. I don't think that they sell 262 alcohol markers for that cheap a price. And yes, I'm talking awfully fast for two reasons. Number one, I naturally talk a little fast. And number two, I'm so nervous. This is like my 4th or 5th live, and I'm so bad at these. You can see, I mean, I'm flustered because it didn't work out right in the beginning. Oh, my goodness gracious. So these are supposed to have 2 different tips. So they've got a blending brush tip and they also have a chisel tip. I think I'm going to use mostly the blending brush tip for all of this and just putting it down. There's some of that color. Let's get a darker color and see if we can get some blending going on here. So there's the darker green, and then let's get a brown in here and see what happens when we put them on top of each other. I'm not seeing a whole lot of blending. But they do mark very well. They do look very nice. Let's see what happens if I put a little bit of water on it, just because I'm testing things right now. I'm just playing right now. So if I put a little bit of water on it and spread it around, well, it does move around if you put a little bit of water on it. So that's interesting. So here we go right here. Let's see if I can focus this in any. Probably not. I don't know how this works. Oh, look, I can. Oh, wow. Look at that. Ha, cool. I just got to make sure that I stay in screen, in focus with what I'm doing. So let's get started on testing these with the, thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate, thank you, Kelly's Crafts. I really appreciate that. Oh. Please do subscribe. I'm like, I don't know how many I am, but I'm less than 50 subs from being able to become a tween channel. Tween channel is when you have 500 subs and over 3,000 watch hours. So you can do certain things like sell memberships and do super chats, but you can't yet monetize from ad revenue on YouTube. You can't do that until you get to 1,000. So in my mind's eye, my brain, my autistic brain has made these as baby channel is when you have nothing. Tween channel is when you have 500, 3,000, 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours. And mature channel is when you have 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. And I have significantly more than the 3,000 watch hours, but significantly less than the 500 subs that I need. So please share. Please encourage people that you know that might also be interested in this content to subscribe. I'm really looking for subscribers who are actually going to stay subscribed. I don't want people, and that's one of the reasons that I haven't used any of those things where you can get subscribers really quickly, because those people generally don't interact with your channel and they don't want your stuff. I want authentic people in my community. I don't want, I don't want to just buy friends. I want to have actual friends, if that makes sense to you. So this is pigment ink, watercolor, and we're going to start with the multimedia paper here. So I like I said, I chose these little wonky birds because they're just going to be easy to do. So let's do some shading with this, and let's do the brush marker. So let's start on the outside with some dark color. I'm not the best at coloring things in, but when you're making cards and doing things like this, they're very forgiving, which is one of the reasons that I love card making, is because the whole idea is that the card making process is very forgiving. You can do an awful lot of stuff in card making and still have it turn out beautiful, even if it's not what you started with thinking it would be. Oh, wow, look at that. That blends really well. Look at that blending right there. That's pretty cool. So let's do that. And then let's get another lighter color. Is there another lighter color of that? Yeah, this one's a little, nope, I think that's the one I just had. I really should have these standing up so I can see them more easily. Let's try this one. Brush tip. Wow. Okay, just from initial use, the very first time that I've used these, I'm really impressed by these. These are doing a wonderful job of blending these colors together to get some nice ombre effects. All right, let's try another one where I try with the lightest color on the outside. I'm just going to fill the whole circle with the lightest color. And then I'm going to move to some darker colors and see if I can get that nice ombre effect out of it. So this is the next darker color in the set. So I'll just move up here with the next darker color. And then let's go to an even darker color in this set. Let's do this brown right here. Is that the marker end? That's the marker end. Ooh, that one was a little darker than I wanted it to be. Let's see what happens if I go back over it with the medium color. I'm playing around with this. That's all wow, look at that. Look at how well that blends together. Wow, that's really nice. And again, this is the multimedia paper. Us crafters are like that with markers. Yeah, I guess so. Markers fun, markers awesome. We love markers. Markers are great. So these, I have to say, this is the very first time. I mean, you watched me unbox them in this video. This is the very first time I've used them. I have to say that I am super impressed by these. This is the first Arteza branded anything that I've bought from Ollie's. And if you've watched my my shop with me videos, you've seen the amount of Arteza stuff that I've come across. This is exceptional quality. Really, really nice. Let me get some colors here that are really nicely paired together. Instead of just grabbing at random, let me get a third color. So let's try these three colors together in making, let's see, let's do the outer portion of the wing. And I'm going to start with the lightest color. Actually, I think I'm going to do this little dot here. I'm going to start with the lightest color right there. So I'm not going to fill the whole circle with the lightest color. I'm just going to put it there. And then I'm going to do the medium color. Great, I put the other two markers down and didn't notice where I put them. Of course I did. And so go to the medium color here. And that's this one. And do a little bit more. Wow, look at this. This is intensely beautiful. Wow. And the fact that these say earth tones just suggests to me that they've got more of these in differing colors and in differing sets. Let's see what happens if I put a little bit of water right in the center of that. I'm just playing here with these markers because I'm going with what I'm thinking might be a really pretty thing to do. And wow, look at that. Look at that beautiful ombre that you get right there. That is just gorgeous. Let me get out one of my baby wipes. Ooh, I wonder what happens if I hit one with a baby wipe. Let's try hitting this one with a baby wipe and see what happens. Blurp, 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 blurp. Now it really just picks up ink, and it picks up the last color ink coming down. Although on that one, that blends it beautifully nicely. Let's just move. Ooh, that's so pretty. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed by these. I have to say that I am very much impressed by these. So we've done that with pigment ink. That's the multimedia paper with pigment ink. Let's try the same idea with the watercolor inks, with my watercolor pens, and see what happens with them. And I'm just going to grab what's similar to the same three colors that I used over there. Oh, I have 11 people watching. Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. That's like the biggest audience that I've had. And I don't see Amira. Oh, Amira Creates, I hope you're watching this. I really do. I really feel bad because I messed up. I couldn't figure out how to get the original live that I posted to work, and then I said I was going to nix that one, and then I said I was going to make another one and come back, and I never did. And I know you were there, Amira. I'm absolutely positive that you were, and I feel so bad that I don't see you in here right now. Oh, is there any other? Nope, 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 nope. Oh, okay. I hope Amira Creates come in. Everybody keep positive thoughts for Amira Creates to find this particular live and come in and join us, because she is such a wonderful supporter of my channel, and I absolutely adore her so much. All right, so testing this with the alcohol markers. Now, these are actual alcohol markers. These are not watercolor markers. So blending with alcohol markers is somewhat different with blending with those. And I have to say that blending with these, with practice, I mean, this is kind of a hot mess right now, but with practice, this would be really just beautiful. And I would love to find other color sets. The only color set that we have that I've seen in any of the Florida stores that I've been in that had these are the earth tones. So I don't know what I did with the box. Yeah, see, these are called the earth tones. I would love to find other color sets of these, or even a great big set of them. Oh my gosh, imagine how wonderful that would be. Ooh, big markers. I really hope Amira Creates finds this. Oh my. I feel bad. I really do feel bad because I know Amira Creates was the person waiting for this channel to open, for this to open, and I know that they were there and they liked the other one, and I don't know what happened. I'm so bad with lives, and now I've lost Amira. Oop, that's the wrong end. Oh, okay, anyway, so this is blending with alcohol markers right here. And so I'm just going to blend in a little bit on the edge, just trying to mimic what I did on that one, which I'm not actually doing because I actually colored the whole thing. But with alcohol markers, it's somewhat different when you're blending alcohol markers because they behave differently than these watercolor markers do. And these really do act like watercolors. It's really very cool to have them doing that. And then this is the last color, and that's the pointy end. And so get this going and put this up here and finish it off. There we go. And unfortunately, I only have one device that's sitting there doing this, so I can't even go in and say to Amira in one of my other videos and comment on it, say, Amira, it's live again on the original live post, please come back. So I'm down to 10. I lost somebody. But see, I like alcohol markers, I really do, but they don't blend nearly as well as these seem to have blended. I can see me getting a ton of use out of these. Oh, wait, let's try putting some of this down here. I mean, the alcohol markers are pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's just they don't blend like I usually want them to because I want markers to do more than what they're capable of doing because, of course, I do. But that's really cool. All right, so that is testing out on multimedia paper with the alcohol markers and the watercolor markers that I got from the Ultra H2O Everblend watercolor markers from Arteza that I got from Ollie's. All right, so my other thought on this, since I've been live for 20 minutes and YouTube usually only lets baby channels go live for, whoa, and I'm awesome, my iPad that I'm streaming this on is also running out of power. So let's get to this one next. I'm going to use the same multimedia paper because that's the only one that I think I'm going to have time to do. And I will probably do all of these eventually and put up a video of them. So this is the multimedia for the alcohol inks with distressed oxide and the watercolor inks with distressed oxide. So the reason that I thought to do this with distressed oxide is because we know that with alcohol inks, distressed oxide tends to stay in place. But when we get to the watercolor inks, distressed oxide tend to be water reactive even if they're dry. So I wanted to see what would happen with this. And I'm going to try the lightest color that I have in these watercolor inks. And that's probably this one. And I want to see if this affects the distressed oxide. I'm going to do this differently because this is a secondary print and that's a primary print. So this isn't actually alcohol. This one is now watercolor, and this one is now alcohol. Because all the rest of my watercolors were the first generation stamp. So let's try that. Let's see what happens when I do this with distressed oxide and these ultra watercolor inks. And I'm going to go somewhere where there's an awful lot of distressed oxide, like on this tail here. And yeah, it really is kind of blending. So the watercolor ink in this is blending with the distressed oxide, not in an extreme way, but there is some blending right at the edge of that. So let's just do this circle here. And right at the edge, that distressed oxide is actually reacting with the watercolor pretty darn cool. These are nice. I got this entire set at the Ollie's on Colonial and Hiawassee in West Orlando for $2.99. So I got 12 of these markers for $2.99. These Everblend Ultra H2O watercolor markers. Okay, I've got 2 more people in here. Is one of them Amira Creates? Oh, please be Amira Creates. I'm so sorry. I messed up so badly and I lost you somewhere along the way, and you're like my biggest fan and I appreciate you so much. Nope, no comment from Amira Creates yet. So, but I got these at the Hiawassee and Colonial Ollie's, and they were $3 for 12 of them. I did see them at another store, and I want to say it was the Eustis store, but you'd have to go back through and watch my videos to verify that. I'm not sure what other store I saw them in, but I have seen them in at least 2 stores. And, you know, I bet if you used more distressed oxide, let me just stamp out more distressed oxide using the side of the case so I get a bigger pile of distressed oxide on here. Let's see what that does. And it's also fresher distressed oxide. Wow, look at that. Look at that blend. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Oh, these Ultra H2O markers have so much potential. Look at that. Look at that streaking and that beautiful color there. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is a really cool set of pens. I am so glad I bought these. If I come across any other color sets, I'm definitely buying another set of color sets. Wow, this is just, I mean, this is just gorgeous. Look at these colors that I'm getting out of it. I hope this doesn't mess up my focus because I just lifted it up so you can see it closer. But this was fresh distressed oxide as opposed to the distressed oxide that I let dry earlier. Nope, gotta move it over. Is that better? There's a 30-second delay between what I'm monitoring this on and what I'm showing you. Yeah, that's a little better. But this was the fresh distressed oxide right here, and you can see how well it blended with these watercolor, with these Ultra H2O markers from Arteza. And then this is the older distressed oxide, but even as older distressed oxide, the water in these markers did reactivate it. So, wow, this is really a nice set. Oh, number 12, I hope that's Amira Creates. Amira, I hope you found me. I am so sorry for that massive mess up if you're here. I'm sure at some point you'll watch this later and hear all my apologies to you, but I do really feel bad that I lost you in the kerfuffle of trying to get this live working. But I did figure out how to program a live and then go to that live. So I guess that's something. Thank you, Kelly's Craft. They are nice. These are really nice markers. These are really valuable things to have in a crafting set. I mean, and it's not just for, I mean, I do primarily, when I'm doing paper craft, I primarily make greeting cards, but this is useful for more than just greeting cards. Yeah, a great deal for $2.99. Hi, Robin. It is. It's an absolutely wonderful deal for $2.99. That's just, and 12 of them, and they're all earth colors, and just, they've got these beautiful little earth tones, and they've got this nice green and all these browns. This would be so cool for making like fall leaves or grass or some sort of pastoral picture. Really nice, and they blend so well. And then you can throw in some of your distress oxides in there. Somebody liked my, and then you can throw in some of these distressed oxides in there and get some beautiful blending with distressed oxides. You could even take just line stamps of distressed oxide and use different colors distressed oxide, and then use these markers to just swivel over them, and you get this beautiful little rainbow ombre effect. Oh, this is so cool. This is a great buy. I highly recommend these. If you come across these, either in an Ollie's, or if you're not lucky enough to have an Ollie's that carries this in your area, wherever you might find them, I highly recommend these. These are really good. Really, really good. And then last thing, because like I said, they're only going to let me do this for 30 minutes. If you go to my video on Sunday, it's got information on my giveaway right now. Only 5 people have entered, and I'm giving away 3 of these rulers. So you've got a really good chance of winning. If the video on Sunday has all the rules in the description and the link to the entry form and information on how to fill out the entry form, but you don't really have to. If you read the entry form carefully, then you'll be able to fill it out properly. And thank you so much, everybody who watched and everybody who commented and any new subscribers that I have. I greatly appreciate you. I love how authentically my channel is growing, and I love how wonderful and kind this community is becoming, and that means so much to me, and I appreciate every one of you. And Amira, again, I am so sorry that I lost you in the shuffle, and thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. If you find these, definitely buy them. They are awesome. Cheers and happy crafting.